This is the user manual for the CAMERADACTYL Mongoose automated 35mm film carrier. To use the Mongoose, you'll need a couple of things. You'll need a digital camera with a macro lens that can focus as close as your film frame. You'll need a copy stand or a tripod, something to hold the camera in place, and you'll need either a light box or some other form of illumination. To get started, let's take a look at the scan module. The Mongoose control box has 3 scanning modes. The first is manual mode, which allows a user to scroll the film forward and reverse, and also trigger an attached camera. The second is fast mode, which doesn't have as great positional alignment as automatic mode, but will allow you to scan a roll of evenly spaced frames in about 40 seconds, 36 exposures with a leader. And the third mode, I think, is the most important mode and useful, is automatic mode, which will detect the edges of each frame, align them inside of the film gate, and take a picture and repeat until the end of the roll of film. The first mode we're going to go through is manual mode. So for manual mode, let's first load a roll of film. This roll unfortunately does not have a leader, but first insert the film into the film gate and push it through until the end of the film engages with the sprocket holes and stops. We can then use the knob on the scroll wheel to advance the film, or retract it. This is 1x speed. By pressing the knob, we can toggle to 2x speed, which is a little faster for both advance and retract. We can also go to 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64 speed. Which will jog a roll of film much quicker, and then we can press again to return back to 1x speed for precise alignment. To trigger a camera in this mode, all we need to do is press this red button, and 1 frame will be taken. Let's take a look at that from a little wider view. And while holding the camera a little bit handheld to get a better shot here, I'm doing this by myself. Thank you, coronavirus. All we need to do is align the frame, either slowly or quickly, and then press this red button to trigger a frame on the camera. Okay, the next mode is fast mode, which advances based on distance only. Is a little less positionally accurate than automatic mode, but will scan a roll of film in about 40 seconds for 36 exposures, and will allow you to scan film only with evenly spaced frames generated by the original camera that you shot the film on. And it might be useful for some things like a total black background with no edges to detect. Okay, so fast mode allows you to again jog the film slow or fast, and fast mode will, without edge detection, advance a set distance between frames and trigger the camera between them. The first thing we have to do before we use fast mode is set the distance between different frames on a roll of evenly spaced film. So what we're going to do is press buttons 3 and 4 simultaneously. Let's up the exposure. Buttons 3 and 4 are here, the green and the blue, and that enters the calibration mode for setting the distance between frames. So then we're going to come up here to the camera screen, adjust the exposure a little bit, and then at low speed, 1x, I'm going to align this frame with just the edge of my camera screen. Then I'm going to come back down here and press button 3, which is the green button, to set an in point. Then I'm going to come back up to the camera screen and align 3 frames. 1, 2, and then before I align the end of the frame, I'm going to set it back down to 1x speed. Okay, once I've done that, I come back down here and I can press the blue button to set an out point of my measured 3 frames. And again, we can set the number of frames in the setup menu for the fast mode frame count. We can measure up to 38 frames or as little as 1. 3 to 5 seems to be a good approximation for a good measurement. If you're going to scan multiple rolls that were shot on different cameras with different frame spacing. But if you're always going to, say, use a Nikon F3 that always has the same spacing, you might want to spend the time to measure 38 or 25 frames the first time you do this. Anyway, once you have measured your in and out points, we're going to press the start button, which is button 2, the red one more time. And the film rewinds to the original position and exits that mode. Now, the frame spacing is stored to internal memory, so until you use a roll of film with another frame spacing, even if you turn the Mongoose off and on, that frame spacing will be stored, and you should be good to go. So now that we have fast mode frame set, we want to align the image we want to start with in the center of the viewfinder of the camera. Go down here and press start, and it will take a picture, advance a frame, and take a picture until the end of the roll. Here we go. And then at the end of the roll, the Mongoose will automatically detect the end of the roll and flash end of roll and end its program. And we can start a fast mode scan with the red button, number 2. And we can stop it at any time by pressing the red button, and it will stop on the next frame. So here's a start. And there's a stop before the end of the roll. The next mode we're going to go over is automatic mode. And we can enter that mode by pressing the yellow button, button 1. To go to automatic. Automatic mode will advance the film based on edge detection of the frames and can scan rolls of film that have been unevenly spaced by the original camera that it was shot in. Before we can scan in automatic mode, we need to position the film within the film gate so that it's aligned with the camera between frames. So the first thing I'm going to do is just rewind this film. Okay. So to calibrate the positioning of each frame during automatic mode, the first thing we're going to do is press simultaneously buttons 3 and 4. Those are the calibration buttons for automatic mode. And it's going to do a preview pass and detect one edge of the frames right under here where the sensors are inside of the scanner. So here we go. Right now it's just doing a calibration pass for this particular roll of film. Now it's found an edge of a frame of film which is aligned under the edge detectors. Then what we want to do is come up here to the camera, turn the camera back on, and then align this frame with the frame inside of the camera. Okay, that looks good to me. Once that's aligned, we can come back down to the control module and we can press start when aligned. Start is button 2, the red button. And now the alignment for automatic mode is set. And so long as you keep the camera and the scan module in the same place, you'll never have to reset that. To scan in automatic mode, all you need to do is load the film and press the red button, button 2 or start. Now we can go down here to the control box, and again this mode will find the end of the roll of film and automatically stop, but we can stop it at any time by pressing the red button once. That concludes the user manual of the CAMERADACTYL Mongoose. I hope you guys get some good use out of it. Send me some scans.